Retirement relocation, how to find the perfect community size. Do you ever think about that? You know, a lot of people think about how many bedrooms, how many baths, how many pickleball courts. But what you really want to be thinking about as well is the retirement community size. We had a couple move from Minneapolis, and I was sure they were going to move into Cresswind Wesley Chapel, about 600 plus homes when it's all built out. But they ended up choosing one that was about half the size, about 300 when it's all built out, in the same pretty much area. So I think that had something to do with it. So another thing, again, when I mentioned pickleball courts, feel free to do the math on the number of projected homes and the number of pickleball courts. I was a little surprised to look at an overhead or a video of Trilogy Lake Norman recently, and as I remember it, haven't been up there a lot lately, but they had, I don't know how many, but let's just say 2 or 3 pickleball courts, maybe 4. But then as they built out, I looked down and it looked like behind the area they had saved some space, which is brilliant, for more pickleball courts. So anyway, that's the deal. So let's talk about these, talk about the areas. You know, Charlotte sits right above the North Carolina, South Carolina state line. So we're North Carolina, but South Carolina, like Indian Land and Fort Mill and Tegakay, those are all part of our greater metro area. So a lot of it, I know, depends on where your grandkids are, where they're living. But the first one is the granddaddy of them all, Sun City, Carolina Lakes. You know, when this began, everybody thought, man, that's too far south. Nobody will ever go that far. Now people are going down to River Chase Estates and Edgewater. But Sun City, Carolina Lakes is Indian Land, South Carolina. And with over 3,100 rooftops, that place is huge. I mean, huge. They've got a golf course built in the middle, but back then you could get a large parcel of land, enough for 3,100 homes, and a golf course. And so now those days are diminishing. In fact, people are buying golf courses, developers, to put 55 plus in there. I saw one like that recently in Myrtle Beach, about 3.5 hours away. So that's large, guys. That's something to really think about. The next one is Trilogy Lake Norman. Now, Indian Land, South Carolina, that's south of Ballantyne, which is South Charlotte. Denver, this is really close to Ironside. It's up on the northwest side of town. Not that close to Lake Norman, actually, but it was a great marketing ploy. Trilogy Lake Norman. You do get the boat club membership. So they've got about 1,100. Now, interestingly enough, they were permitted for more than that, as I'm remembering, but I think they hit some rock issues, some granite, and they sold off some to D.R. Horton, which built in there as well. So that's a good size, 1,100. It's a third of this one, but it's still a pretty good size. What a great neighborhood that is, actually. Cresswind Charlotte coming in about 850. It's a good size. That's on the east side of Charlotte. Some people liken it close to Mint Hill, but it's really right on 485, just east of Charlotte. By the way, factoid, that's the first one and maybe the only one that has a hospital within walking distance. So if you were decided you were going to expire, you could just walk over there and lay down your head. I know that's not funny, but this stuff happens in 55 plus neighborhoods. Stuff happens. The next one down is the new Carolina Riverside, which is Belmont, NC. Now, just note, there is a neighborhood in Charlotte called Belmont, but there's also a town on the other side of the Catawba River called Belmont, where the college is, Belmont Abbey. That's a great little town, by the way. We've got a lot of great little towns on the perimeter of Charlotte. And so they are slated at Del Webb, Carolina Riverside, to have as many as 800 homes, and that's up and running nicely. In fact, I think we just had a closing in there recently, or a sale from my team. The way it works, by the way, don't call any of these builders. Call me. I'll connect you to one of my team members, and that's the way it works for you to have buyer representation. The builder's willing to pay our fee. So Cresswind Charlotte, then Carolina Riverside on the west side of Charlotte. By the way, that's not that far, not only from the river, that's the amenity, but it's close to the Whitewater Rafting Center, which again plays off of the river as well. So 800 homes. Bailey's Glen, they've been around for a while. Great builder, Cornelius on the north side of Charlotte. 688 homes. Can I tell you a quick little story about Bailey's Glen? I've been back in the business about 12 years now and been on YouTube about the same, getting ready to hit 4,000 videos on my channel. If you're not subscribed, take care of business. But I was up one day at Bailey's Glen, and I went into the amenity center, the clubhouse. I couldn't believe it, man. Bunch of people playing cards over here, bunch of guys playing, I don't know, pool or something over here, and I don't know, ping pong, et cetera, all kind of stuff. And it was just alive. And now I'm seeing that in my own 55 plus experience as well. Bailey's Glen. Now the next one down is Cresswind Wesley Chapel. That's really just outside of the village of Wesley Chapel. It's really got a Waxhaw GPS address, and that's going to be a total of 606 homes. I think they're a little over half right now. Great time to buy. And honestly, this is probably my favorite. This is the one we live in. We love it here. At 12 pickleball courts. Beat that. So when I mentioned the number of pickleball courts divided by the total number of homes, you can start doing that math. And again, the idea there is how hard is it going to be to get in and get on the court. The brand new Roseland, and I'm surprised it didn't show up on this list, which is the new Lennar neighborhood down in Lancaster, far south of Charlotte, south of Treetop, south of Sun City, Carolina Lakes. That one, I don't want to quote it, but again, have your buyer agent, and we'll do that for you. How many pickleball courts for that? Speaking of pickleball courts, Imagery on Mountain Island Lake, that's Mount Holly, North Carolina. So if you've got Charlotte, kind of like a clock dial, 485 goes all the way around, and back up around 10:30 on that clock dial is Road 16, and not far is Mountain Island Lake. That's Imagery, just across the Gaston County line out of Mecklenburg. That's a Lennar development, all built out. But one of my YouTube subscribers and clients built right there at the water look, water view. He's the landscaping architect. They built it out really nice. And she, Kim, is, last I looked, the president of their pickleball club, and they have a total of 483. By the way, so many of these will have resales. If you're intent on new construction, that's fine, but we often find if we get you the right location, get in your budget and your time frame, resale is a valid option for many of these, for sure. Because think about it, many of these, Sun City, Carolina Lakes, a lot of those homes are going to be, 11, 15, 16 years old, plenty of room for them to be dated, but a lot of these are relatively new as well. Now, when I mentioned Trilogy Lake Norman with 1,100 homes, I also mentioned to you that D.R. Horton picked up a few across part of that land. So I think originally Lake Norman was going to be quite a bit more than 1,100, but D.R. Horton came in and put up the farm at Ingleside. There's a 55 plus component across the road there, and yet there is a mixed component. And I really believe that this 422 number of homes, I said Denver, but really Iron Station is right there. That 422, I believe, includes the 2-story and ranch section. Across the street is ranch only, which I believe that's really technically the 55 plus. Then you got Regency of Palisades in Charlotte, southwest side near Steel Creek area, real close to the Buster Boyd Bridge, real close to South Carolina. And the factoid about Regency at Palisades is that it's really not a 55 plus community, although it feels like one. It lives like one, but you may have some little 2-year-olds in the driveway next door to you if you're not careful. But that's a great location there, by the way. Just turned out really, really nice. By the way, out of all of these, my wife and I almost bought everywhere. We really bought 2. We bought one, and then she just couldn't pull herself out of our Toll Brothers home. So we waited a year or 2, and then we built this one. Regency at Palisades, a great one. 413 homes. That's a Toll Brothers neighborhood. So do the math on that. Heritage, I'm probably headed there today. They're going to have a total of about 340 in Indian Trail, but again, factoid, it sits right on the Indian Trail and Wesley Chapel line. So they're homes with a Wesley Chapel address. their homes with an Indian Trail address in the same community. And so this was built by MI Homes, built a few, not 55 plus, but the 55 plus were Essex homes, which got acquired by Stanley Martin. And they got, now Eastwood also is building in there. And so there are some Eastwood homes and some Stanley Martin homes. In fact, they've got specs right now. This is probably one of the most affordable 55 plus right now for new construction. And I noticed that whereas some of these builders are selling 2-bedroom homes and 3 and 4, all of these are 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom that are available right now in Heritage. This is a great location on the southeast side of Charlotte. So if you've got kids and grandkids in Matthews, Mint Hill, Stallings, even Monroe, Indian Trail, this would be a great location for you, Heritage. I really like this location, and 340. Now be aware that their beautiful amenity center is near the first original cluster, right? And the newer ones are kind of like down the road a little bit. So you'll definitely get in your golf cart to go to the amenity center or your car. But that's a great size community, 422 Heritage. Encore at Streamside, 322, and that says Waxhaw. Oh, that is Waxhaw. That's David Weekly. So often we'll compare Encore at Streamside to Cresswind Wesley Chapel. This says Wesley Chapel. Like I said, it's got a Waxhaw GPS address, but 600 homes versus 322. And that is a big difference, really, twice the size. And again, when you call me and I connect you to one of my team members, my buyer, broker, partners, ask them how many pickleball courts and then do the math on that. We got some great folks living in Encore right now for my YouTube subscriber base. And I'm thinking of Dave and Liz, that they were looking at Cresswind Wesley Chapel, but they ended up in Encore, and I'm sure they're happy about it. I've never even heard of this one, the Gables, well, because Salisbury is well over an hour away. But if you want to move to Salisbury or even Statesville, I drove through there the other day, we can help you with all of those, and we would love to. In fact, Troutman's got a brand new 55 plus up that way too. I did a video on that pizza place up there. Now, Esplanade at Northgate, that's the one, just under 200, and that is Indian Trail. That's right next to Bonterra, the neighborhood, sort of the Monroe area, Indian Trail / Monroe, right off of the 74 bypass. That's a great one. Esplanade at Northgate, Taylor Morrison. My wife and I built a Taylor Morrison home in the smaller community before they brought the Esplanade product in. Just to be clear, all of these builders have their own sort of 55 plus products. Del Webb has got Sun City. They've got Carolina Riverside. They've got Carolina Orchards, which I'm surprised that didn't show up on my list. That's another great one. So Del Webb. Pulte has Del Webb. Shea Homes has Trilogy. All right, are you tracking with me? Coulter Homes has Cresswind Charlotte, Cresswind Wesley Chapel. That's Coulter Homes. Lennar Homes has Imagery. That's, again, Lennar's. They have Imagery. Lennar has Treetops. Lennar has this brand new Roseland. So think of it that way. So Esplanade, the Esplanade product is Taylor Morrison. So the rest of these, in fact, we're getting even into rentals down here. And my team and I can definitely help you now. Bella Sarah Villas. Those are some really nice ones in Matthews. In fact, I had an old client from 10 years ago that thought about buying in there. He just called me, and one of my team members took him out back to Bella Sarah just last week or so. So guys, we're here to help you. We're here to serve you. We need to be in with you at the beginning. So please don't reach out to any builder, and we can show you new and resale. We can also help you list and sell your home in the greater Charlotte area, and we would love to do so. Man, if you've been with me 15 minutes, your either last name is Sachs, shout out Bob, or Diaz. hey, Victor and Anita, because these people really love me and they put up with me all these years. And somehow they find Jude, the realty dude, entertaining, and they also miss Jack, the real estate dog, like my wife and I do. All right, guys, can't wait to talk to you soon. This is Roger. Peace and out.